This is Paul Lundgren with the Finer Touch Construction. I'm coming to you from the Balancing Rock project, where we are just completing the build, getting ready to hand over the home. And it's so neat to see all these cool textures and different mediums come together on the outside of a house. Stucco really is one of your basic finishes on the outside of the house, or a stone cladding. But as you see this house, it's got the mixture of metal, stucco, stone cladding, and then up above here, we've got our T&G hemlock ceiling that just adds that another natural element up against the metal, the stucco, and the stone. When it comes down to finishes on the outside of a house, of course, the architect has a big say and usually calls out those things on his plans. The HOA is going to have their say of what they require. Sometimes there's a percentage of mediums that they want on the outside of the house for some kind of natural, rustic, then some, if you're going to put steel and stone or wood, they'll have a say in what comes together. So we have to work closely with the architect, with the HOA, and bring those all together to where everyone's going to be satisfied and approve our final build. So of course the architect comes up with the design of the house. He then submits his or her drawings to the HOA. This HOA is not quite that strict like the other ones I've talked to you about in other videos with Opulent Oasis, DC Ranch. They're much more strict. They actually, I'll have the city at the end will approve me and then say, we're not worried about it because we know that the HOA is going to be harder on you than we ever would have been. So some are strict, some aren't. You got to work. So when it comes down to the architect and the HOA will have the final say in what's required on the house. Of course, the architect can usually pick the colors and the textures and that, but the ultimate say is in the HOA, how you're going to get the metal in, the tongue and groove, the stucco, the stone on the walls. You have to coordinate what sequence you think is best for those transitions to happen and look the most natural. So I put the T&G in before I did the final stucco coat because I wanted that stucco line to be nice and crisp up against the wood line. The metal fascia went in before the T&G because I wanted them to be able to cut their wood to meet that nice clean black line around the whole ceiling. And of course the stone I wanted after the pavers of the deck were installed because I want it sitting on top of the deck to make it look the most natural transition, as far as you're not going to have to try and cope around an uneven stony face. So you've got that nice clean line where the stone meets the pavers. Oh, are you guys still here? Hey, I want to say thanks for coming by the Balancing Rock, and I hope to show you guys more of this stuff later, but I hope you appreciated the different textures that are on this house. It's an amazing build. See you next time.